What is your greatest earthly treasure? As parents, there's nothing that my wife and I wouldn't do for our children. They're truly our greatest earthly treasure. Because we love them, we want to give them gifts and advantages like loving, nurturing Christian teachers who care about the kind of person they're becoming, educators who care deeply about the formation of their souls. We also want to give them an academic environment where they are challenged and stretched intellectually, developing a deep joy in learning. And we don't want to sacrifice one for the other. Ultimately, we can't think of a better investment in their future selves than their K-12 education. That's why we've chosen to give our children the gift of a classical Christian education at Trinity Academy. For some of you, the what, that your child will be known and loved and nurtured and challenged to be everything that they can be academically is everything. For others of you, the how is equally important. Sometimes we think classical Christian education is too complicated to explain, but let me share a few analogies that I believe will resonate with each of you as we get to the heart of classical Christian education. A garden is planted to produce an outcome, but a garden doesn't produce flowers or fruit on its own without preparation, planting, and provision. Soil preparation is key. Like master gardeners, Trinity teachers take time to prepare the soul of each student to receive the seeds of learning. They get to know each individual pupil, cultivating relationships and building trust so that when the plowing gets hard, their students will persevere. The type of seed determines the kind of fruit. Apples don't grow on pear trees. So, in the classroom, we plant seeds of truth, goodness, and beauty throughout all of our subject areas to produce a life that is true, good, and beautiful. When, where, and how a gardener plants are all crucial factors in determining the yield. Planting zones vary even within our state. What grows well in the North Carolina Piedmont does not thrive in the mountains. Likewise, classical Christian education takes into account the stages of a child's development to produce the maximum outcome. For example, we teach our youngest ones lots of facts and fundamentals through singing, chanting, and repetition. Their brains are like sponges. They can absorb and remember facts they may not yet fully understand, but are ready and waiting for the moment when they're able to connect the dots in a larger picture. We teach our middle schoolers by means of discussion and debate because that's when they're naturally ready to challenge every idea they encounter. We introduce formal and informal logic at this stage of learning, helping our students learn to distinguish truth from fallacies. And finally, our high school students are ready to tell the world what they know and believe through writing and speaking. Therefore, we teach them to respect all points of view, but to be eloquent and persuasive communicators of the beliefs they have tested, proven, and chosen to own. Classical Christian education maximizes the yield by purposefully planting in the proper soil of a child's development. The gardener is not content with just one flower or piece of fruit, so they continue to tend and provide for the garden by watering, fertilizing, weeding, pruning, and protecting the plants. So too, Trinity teachers embrace the rigorous process, knowing that a bountiful harvest is the end goal. I want to share with you one other analogy that explains the integration of learning that takes place in a classical Christian school. Consider each of these individual tiles. Each one represents a small part of the whole. Maybe one is history, one is math, one literature or science, Latin, art, music, each standing alone. But when considered in their areas of intersection and interrelatedness, as one big picture, like a mosaic, they produce a masterpiece. That's what we call the great conversation. That's why at Trinity Academy, we teach our students to appreciate the great artists and composers they're learning about in their history classes. And we link the literature they are reading with the period in history they are studying. Students see the big picture of God and His creation through all the subjects they study, helping make sense of the world He has made. That's the goal of a Trinity Academy education. Beyond mere knowledge, it produces a harvest of wisdom, eloquence, and virtue, earthly treasures with an eternal purpose. If that's the gift you want to give your children and the generations to follow, then you're going to be right at home at Trinity Academy.